taking on the Miami Dolphins.
It's the National Football League, presented by EA Sports. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Miami Dolphins and the Houston Texans. Hi again, everyone. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, we look at this Texan ball club entering play here. They've been buoyed by... Two teams here fresh off Week 1 victories. Who can keep it going as we're underway on EA Sports? Taking it about the 1.
Yeah.
And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. Here is Tua Tagovailoa heading out to lead this Miami offense.
Well, he started his season the way that everyone wants to start their season, with an absolute bang. AFC Offensive Player of the Week. Let's see where he goes from here.
Set the bar high. Week 2, we'll see what he can do.
To the top 10. Let's start with the number 10 player in the nation. That is linebacker Zayden Walker out of Sly County, Kansas.
Yeah, this one is one of my favorites in the entire cycle. And Zayden Walker dictates football games as a defensive player. You can play him on ball, you can play him off ball. I love the tenacity with how he plays. He plays the game proactive. We have proactive athletes, we have reactive athletes. This guy is a proactive athlete. So love his tenacity, love his football instincts. He's always around the football. And if there was one guy, I think I've said this every time I've talked about Zayden Walker, that was
Charles, Thursday night game. I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that, because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So, as you said, you shrink the playbook, pick out the plays that work best for you, and you know what else you're looking for?
What's that?
Who are the freshest guys coming off of the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often.
7 yards there and a first down.
First down, Miami.
They'll run here with Akers. And they'll get this just to the 47. 1-yard gain. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
Gain of a yard. Brings up 2nd
And now some motion before the snap. And this will be our first penalty of the night's proceedings. And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves them back 5. And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. Now a shotgun handoff to Pollard. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Call it no gain there, and it brings forth a 3rd and long. Tagovailoa working out of the gun. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 47. And they will score a pick 6 for the Texans TD. It was 3rd down. Defensively, they were just hoping to make a play and get off the field, get their offense on. Instead, they did one better. Pick it off, take it into the end zone.
Well, they did what you said. They got off the field.
They're going to have to come right back on.
They're going to come right back on, but happily, right? They put the ball in the end zone. That's the way you start a game. That's the way you set the tone.
Extra point forthcoming. Texans take a 7-0 lead. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air.
When you get your moment on stage, and there's chocolate chips
able to get this out to the 25.
At their own 25-yard line.
So Miami coming out for their 2nd drive.
Okay.
oligarchy is taking shape in America.
And the Dolphins now with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Tagovailoa trying again after the pick six. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. Now this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down. Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34.
When there's a strong connection between the therapist and the client, it's transfer.
Because he creates mismatches with his size. The slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy. Their fullback try and push the pile. And he will have
all of the things that the leftists claim that they know, and they claim that they have virtue in, and they don't care nothing about it, know nothing about it, and they look like when they go against somebody who really has what it takes to be successful. But I want to play some clips of Kevin O'Leary. Let's play Joe Biden clip first, and then we're going to play Kevin O'Leary literally putting a smack down like he in WWE.
I want to warn the country of some things that give me great concern.
In Old Wisconsin, we naturally slow smoke our sausages over hardwood fires using maple, beech, and birch. Because you can't fake real hardwood flavor. Stubbornly moving here, so we can enjoy the great flavor out there.
This is the reason why you should cancel your doorbell camera subscription. This new subscription-free theme Wi-Fi camera delivers more advanced security features than traditional home security systems without the need for costly installations or monthly fees. It's making traditional home security cameras a thing of the past. Introducing ZoomPix, a breakthrough mini Wi-Fi camera developed by Alex and Ben, former employees of a home security firm in Silicon Valley. Their innovation has turned the home security industry upside down, already saving homeowners thousands of dollars. As you might expect, the big security camera companies aren't too pleased about this. After years of working as technicians for a surveillance company in Silicon Valley, Alex and Ben realized that homeowners were in desperate need of a more advanced, yet affordable security solution that didn't require subscriptions. They saw how outdated and overpriced traditional security cameras were, so they decided to take matters into their own hands. Years of technical know-how and a genuine desire to serve their community, they created a unique, plug-and-play mini Wi-Fi camera that offers superior security and ease of use. When their former company offered $2.7 million for rights to their invention, Alex and Ben turned it down. That's when they knew they had something truly game-changing. A group of investors joined their mission to make home security more affordable, and they perfected ZoomPix for mass production. ZoomPix is the most cost-effective way to enhance your home security. Unlike traditional home surveillance cameras that are fixed and offer limited coverage, ZoomPix provides outstanding security benefits. It records in higher resolutions and includes features like enhanced LED night vision, a wide 150-degree viewing angle, remote live feed, two-way audio, full HD video, and more. And the best part, you control all of these features directly from your smartphone or computer. Whether you're a tech-savvy electrician or a stay-at-home mom with no technical experience, setting up ZoomPix is incredibly easy. Just follow these 3 easy steps. First, download the app. Next, scan the QR code with your phone to connect to your Wi-Fi. ZoomPix's magnetic base attaches to any surface, so you can place it anywhere. Walls, fridges, garages, or even take it with you on the go. No cables, no batteries required. You're all set. In less than a minute, you can monitor your home from your phone or computer. Best of all, ZoomPix saves hundreds of dollars every year compared to traditional security systems. Since its release, over 1 million units have already been shipped, but the major home security companies are still trying to fight back. They've limited its availability in stores, so now it's only available online, and they're pushing to take that away too. The good news is that Ben's and Alex's company is offering a huge discount on ZoomPix before it becomes the new gold standard in home security. But this deal has caused demand to skyrocket, so it won't be available for long. Click the link below to purchase ZoomPix directly from the official website. The creators are so confident in their product that they're offering a 30-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. With the need for better home security at an all-time high, there's no time to waste. Click the link now to get yours at a 50% discount.
Looking to throw. David. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he will go out right near the 35-yard line. That's
That's the dangerous concentration. That's the dangerous concentration of power. In the hands of very few ultra wealthy people. The dangerous consequences if their abuse of power is left unchecked. Today, oligarchy is taking shape in America of extreme wealth, power, and influence that literally threatens our entire democracy, our basic rights and freedom, and a fair shot for everyone to get ahead. We see the consequences all across America. We've seen it before. More than a century ago, as American people stood up for the barons back then and busted the trust.
It's old. See now, man. I can't listen to it. I tried to listen, but then we go, like, bro, you cannot speak. Won't you have somebody else say what you're saying? Won't you do AI something? I'm sick of hearing this old see now fool talking on behalf of the country. He sounds like a complete idiot. He sounds like he's literally on his deathbed, one toenail in the grave already. He's circling the drain. Get this man. He is disrespectful to the men and women who died for this country to have this fool. Dang, he makes me so upset. Today I wake up, I realize how crazy Joe Biden really is. The fact that he's talking about an oligarchy. He's talking about the big tech billionaires having a connection with Donald Trump and wanting to work with the President of the United States of America. When they work with him, it's fine. When they want to work with Trump, it's crazy. But let's look at these headlines, because this is the craziest thing. When you listen to the left, what do? So, oligarchy, they're wearing the dress, and they got all these fancy words about the oligarchy, and they give it validation to the things that he's saying. And I think it's absolutely moronic to do such a thing. Biden's farewell warning about the power of big tech billionaires. Then we go to the right, which obviously you just click on this little button here. You go to the right, you see things like this. They're questioning people comparing them to FDR in Washington. It rings hollow. Biden ripped for warning of oligarchy taking shape in the United States of America despite his deep cuts. So I feel like the Republicans are calling him out for shenanigans. But the left want to be in their best interest to bring up this topic that I think is not beneficial to America. And all of this can be brought to you by Ground Out News. So this is why I use Ground Out News, because you can get a compilation of all of the news topics on both sides that are informed. Right now, there's almost 700 articles written. 100 of them written by leftists, left-leaning organizations, 97 written by right, and 107 written by center. So it's equally dispersed. But I will tell you guys about the blind spot real quick. If you look at it, this is another thing you need to pay attention to, because there's blind spots for the right, blind spots for the left, and here are the topics here. It says, court dismisses New York lawsuit against Big Oil, and this is something that the left is not talking about, the right is. They should be paying attention to. You can go to this one. Judiciary Democrat floats killing Mar-a-Lago case and nudge Garland to release Trump's report. No Republicans talking about it. Or hardly any Republicans are talking about it. Only the left. So this is what you can go to and look forward to make sure you got the proper news. Go to ground.news/Tatum to think for yourself and get the full picture. Subscribe to my link and get the Mantis plan, which is the unlimited plan that I use. And you can subscribe to my link to get 40% off. That's 40% off limited time. So make sure you go to my link and get your news balanced today. Anyway, let's bring on Kevin O'Leary. Okay, let's play Kevin O'Leary real quick. And I'm going to get back to the terrorist activity, because I've got my paperwork now about the terrorist swap, and it's crazier than you think. And I just gave you a little bit of information. I'm going to read through it. But let's go to Kevin O'Leary real quick, and then we'll go back to the terrorist activity information about the terrorist swap, so I can give you some more pertinent information on it.
What is happening right now is that a handful of major companies, and the ones that the men that lead them, are saying in the next 4 years it's going to be a make or break for AI. And the person who gets closest to Donald Trump the fastest and gives him the most money is going to win that race. That's extraordinary.
Celebrate in the center of exports, not just a party students. It's created how many jobs, how much taxes it's paid. Elon Musk, the most successful entrepreneur in history, another aspect of the American dream, just showing you what could happen. We should be celebrating this. And by the way, that message that Biden put out there, that was Harris's probably #1 message during the election. How'd that work for him?
That's so well. I think so. Everything said, we have Trump coming and all the bad things about concentration of wealth. Americans appreciate the ability to see the American dream every day, and we do not push down on success ever. So, yes, less is rich. So what? So, and everybody else in this country almost drowning in rivers or getting cut under barbed wire to get in here to pursue their dream. Why do we ever think that we should bash their success? Let me just say this. It is not about how rich they are. Just to observe what they're not rich enough. I'm saying that actually what got them there, Mark Zuckerberg, Sam Altman, Jeff Bezos, they all got to where they are because they came up with good ideas. They built big, understood. And they did so largely without having to do what they are doing now. The fact that they have to do it now, I think, actually is a change to them. They were not going to Washington themselves, groveling toward the political leaders to try to keep their businesses afloat. Yeah, they were just like, before she started.
Let me just get my assertion with this. So, of course, if you guys don't have the context here, what they're essentially saying is that they're afraid that they're losing culture and tech and everything. That's what they're really afraid of. Because what their contention is that now you see Zuckerberg saying, I'm going to work with Donald Trump. You see Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, probably the most greatest entrepreneur, no matter if you care about his personal life, but as an entrepreneur, as what he's been able to build and accumulate wealth, one of the greatest to ever do it, he's now almost best friends with Donald Trump. And you see some
setting up shop to throw again.
From Facebook's inception to now.
So many Democrats.
On the year. And the Dolphins have got it back to a one-score game. Heck of a start to his season. He had 2 touchdowns in the opener last week, another one here in week 2.
Well, I don't want to call him a touchdown machine this early, but sometimes you get locked in, and you feel good about things. You get into that zone, and those touchdowns come in bunches. He may be able to kind of a
so another thing, again, I think that one of the things that we have to be mindful
this early, great momentum going forward for the rest of the year.
He keeps this up, they'll soon be chanting MVP anytime he touches the ball.
And his kick is good. So that one an 8-play drive. It spans 75 yards. And it ends with a touchdown for the Dolphins.
That's fair. It's all fair, but half the country's still wondering how Joe Biden got it.
Yeah, okay, so here's the big question.
Okay, folks. In advance. Maybe the chicken came first. I don't know which one came first. One of them came. God did that. But regardless of that now, go to my now. I think decisions came first. And then you got Porter.
It's a touchback. So now we get set to see Houston for their second drive of the ball game. And you're under a minute to go here in the half. Field position not really in your favor, but still time to try and move the ball and get in field goal range.
Yeah, you've got the lead.
FCS powerhouse, having won 10 national championships over the past 14 seasons. The tag insert number here. Well, they're simply a conference desperate for football playing members. Well, as long as those members happen to not be named Sacramento State. A team too good for its current level and a conference needing to make a splash. Seems like an ideal match, but is it?
To throw on second down.
A father was teasing his little daughter by constantly kissing his wife, making the little girl jealous. With a pouty face, she said, "Daddy, stop kissing Mommy. Mommy is mine." However, the father ignored her protests and kept teasing. Feeling frustrated, the little girl pushed her father away and wrapped her arms around her mother, hugging her face tightly as if to block her father.
And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away, incomplete. Now that'll bring up second down.
Welcome.
To throw again. David, he's going to rifle one deep left side. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's third down. To throw on third down.
Who are you? You'll find out when the producers of Who's the Boss bring you a special preview of Living Dolls.
You can live with me and the other new models, and I'll train you. Is she on any medication?
Don't miss the happiest, funniest night of the year. First, Who's the Boss? Then a special preview of Living Dolls.
Isn't that great?
Tuesday.
Hey, you guys.
Pretty good punt there, but also
Failed
a nice
so
return of 12
spectacularly.
yards.
They didn't even make it past their backdoor tight.
Very little time
They
remaining
spun
until
off
the
Wolf
half.
Indy and Roberta Sterling. Different strokes gave us the life.
Had a solid start to this game, but
I just had oral surgery, so please bear with me and my lispy voice. Essays are going to be a little bit difficult, but we'll get to it. Okay, so if you love TV as much as I did growing up in the 80s, you know that some of our favorite shows were so good and had such great characters, and had to spin them off into more shows. All in the Family gave us the Jeffersons. Happy Days spun off Walter Indy and Roberta Shirley. Different Strokes gave us the Facts of Life. Series led to Frasier. I could go on and on. But for every successful spin-off that we can name, there are dozens that crashed and burned. And some of them failed so spectacularly, they didn't even make it past their backdoor pilot. What is a backdoor pilot? Well, that's when a TV show sneaks an entire spin-off concept into one of their episodes, hoping viewers be so entranced they'll demand more. And if that sounds awkward and forced, well, that's because it usually is. Anyways, today I'm share some of the biggest spin-off flops from our favorite 70s, 80s, and 90s TV shows. From the bizarre to the downright baffling. My name is Natalie, this is my so-called Gen X Life, and here are 10 times that hit TV shows that we watched growing up.
As they get set to match up with the
The
Buffalo
bizarre
Bills.
to the downright baffling.
Lots to
My
look
name is
forward to
Natalie,
in the
this is my
late
so-called
games
Gen
as
X
well.
Life,
One of the
and
best
here are
being up
10
in
times
Seattle,
that hit
where we
TV
find the
shows that we
Seahawks
watched
taking on
growing
the
up.
LA Rams.
From the bizarre
And
to the
lastly, Sunday
downright
Night
baffling.
Football has a
My
good
name is
one lined
Natalie,
up
this is my
between the New
so-called Gen
Orleans
X Life,
Saints and the
and
Tampa
here
Bay
are
Bucs.
10 times that hit TV shows that we
Meanwhile, in
watched
our
growing
game,
up.
it's been a back-and-forth
From the
first half.
bizarre to
Who
the
can put it
downright
together
baffling.
in the second
My
half?
name is
For the
Natalie,
answer,
this is my
we turn it
so-called
back
Gen X
over
Life,
to our
and
broadcast
here
team
are
of
10
Brandon
times
Godden
that hit
and
TV
Charles
shows
Davis.
that we watched growing up attempted a spin-off that turned out to be an epic fail.
Okay, Coach, appreciate it. A one-touchdown game here as we get set
Decades
to
before the
resume
Marvel
play
Cinematic
in the
Universe
second
dominated
half.
the box office, there were live-action superhero shows all over the television in the 70s and early 80s, and The Incredible Hulk was my absolute favorite. After CBS abruptly canceled Hulk in '82, star Bill Bixby attempted to create a shared Marvel universe on television via two made-for-TV Hulk movies. One was called The Incredible Hulk Returns, and the other was The Trial of the Incredible Hulk. Both are free to watch on YouTube, links in the description. In 1988, The Incredible Hulk Returns had Dr. David Banner on the run as always, when he comes face-to-face with a very blonde, very jacked Thor. The plot? Banner's old colleague Donald Blake shows up, claiming he can summon Thor with a magical hammer, and summon him he does. But instead of a legal god of thunder, we get a frat bro who's clearly double-fisting Thor's wife and has guarded the tailgate. Thor and Hulk team up to fight some generic thugs and fix Banner's problems. Really, truly groundbreaking stuff. Ugh. What really sad though? The movies didn't have the famous Hulk transformation sound effect stinger when Banner hulked out, which is so important. But anyways, this spin-off attempt failed because Thor's characterization was, let's call it polarizing. Fans expected a noble-nosed god, but got someone who felt more at home yelling, "Spring break forever!" Also, the low-budget fight scenes didn't exactly scream mythic adventure. The planned Thor spin-off was axed faster than you can say Ragnarok. Then there was the Trial of the Incredible Hulk in 1990 that attempted to introduce Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil. Banner is wrongly accused of a crime, as Hulk, and his lawyer just happens to be Matt Murdock, blind attorney by day, vigilante by night. Together they take on Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin, played by John Rhys Davies. Because when you think Mob Boss, you think Gimli from Lord of the Rings. While Daredevil's introduction was a step up from Thor's, it still felt off. The black ninja outfit screamed, "I ran out of budget at the costume shop," and the action scenes lacked grit fans wanted from a man without fear. Plus, no one thought a blind vigilante lawyer needed a solo series after this lukewarm debut. The Brady Bunch was a show where a lady and a man named Brady formed a blended family so perfect it made you question your own childhood. And the show's massive success led to a few attempts spin-off during and after its 5-season run, but none of them lasted more than a handful of episodes. One particular attempt stands out above the rest, though, because it was done via a failed backdoor pilot. It was called Kelly's Kids, and it was introduced in a 1973 episode of the Brady Bunch titled Kelly's Kids. The premise: Ken Berry, playing Ken Kelly, points for creativity, and his wife Kathy adopt 3 boys, and each boy is from a different racial background. The plan was to launch a new series focusing on the Kellys, navigating the joys and challenges of a multiracial blended family. The execution of this progressive idea totally fell flat. The episode tackled racism and adoption in the most 70s sitcom way possible, with mild conflict, easy resolutions, and a moral of the story bow tied tighter than Greg Brady's bell bottoms. It had the makings of a feel-good show about diversity and family values, except, for the part where it was painfully and funny. Kelly's Kids never made it past the backdoor pilot. It was criticized for its heavy-handed approach to social issues, lacking the subtlety and the charm of the original Brady Bunch. Characters felt forced, and the storyline was less than engaging. Despite the best intentions to address diversity, Kelly's Kids stumbled in its portrayal, coming off as more of a lesson than a living, breathing family sitcom. And here's the thing, the premise wasn't really that terrible. A sitcom exploring the challenges of raising a multiracial family could have been groundbreaking. But instead of doing storytelling, Kelly's Kids gave us a sitcom of neighbors who were less quirky and more overtly racist. The show was tone deaf even by 1970 standards. Audiences weren't exactly clamoring for more, and let's be real, who was asking for a Brady spinoff with 0 actual Brady? In the end, Kelly's Kids was remembered more for what it could have been rather than what it was, a noble attempt that unfortunately flopped spectacularly, leading us to wonder what might have been if the writers had managed to capture the magic of the original show.
Everything's fine, Carol. Mrs. Phillips waived the usual waiting period, and the boys are with us now. Oh, Kathy, I'm so glad. Oh, they've been absolute angels. I can hardly wait for Monday when I take those 3 to school to register them. What an assortment. Yeah, the Kelly Rainbow.
Game tied now, so you're not protecting a lead, so you're not playing that way.
Starsky and Hutch was an iconic pop drama about two unconventional Los Angeles detectives, their groovy undercover antics, and their flashy jive-talking bar-owning informant, Hubby Bear. It starred Paul Michael Glazer and David Soul as the titular detectives, David Michael Starsky and Kenneth Richard Hutchinson. These guys went undercover, solved crimes, and brought some serious 70s swagger to the LAPD. And then there was Hubby Bear, played by Antonio Fargas. Hubby was their flamboyant, street-smart informant who ran a bar called The Pits. He was so popular, the producers thought, hey, let's give him his own show. But instead of just letting Hubby shine, they paired him with a character named J.D. Turkey Turkett. I kid you not, his last name was literally Turkett. In season 2 of Starsky and Hutch, the producers aired a backdoor pilot for Hubby Bear and the Turkey. Yes, that was the name of the show. During February sweeps in 1977, just a few months before I was born, and I missed it. The premise of this was that Hubby Bear teams up with his old buddy Turkey, a random good old boy from the South, to open a private investigation business. How did these two polar opposites become friends? Who knows? The show never explains it. It's just like, accept it, please. Despite Hubby still running his bar, he naturally has an office set up for their detective agency. And despite this being their first case, Hubby was already complaining about needing money. It can make sense. So let's talk about the episode itself. It has Hubby and Turkey's bickering was mildly amusing, and they even used a fake fight to take down some bad guys. They pretend to fight and surprise the villains repeat. But here's the kicker. The episode ends with Starsky and Hutch saving them from the bad guys. I mean, isn't that the whole point of the spinoff? To show that the new characters could hold their own? Oh, but we did learn Hubby Bear's last name for the first time. It's Brown. So at least there's that. So it helped to make a good series? No. Should it have? Also no. The backdoor pilot was the lowest rated episode of Starsky and Hutch, and for good reason. It was a poorly executed concept with plot holes you could write by the 1974 Gran Torino series. In the end, Huggy Bear worked best as a supporting character. Trying to make him a star, especially the sidekick named Turkey, was a recipe for disaster.
You guys feeling there's something about that warranted interference your friend Papa didn't tell us? My friend, I'm the one who got glued on John $200.
You get a catch, but still.
Come on, get it. Take it on it.
Throwing his Tagovailoa on third down here.
In detail, there is an attempted Punky Brewster spinoff called Fenster Hall. If that doesn't ring a bell, don't worry. It didn't for most people in 1985 either. Let's start with the parent series, Punky Brewster. Remember Punky? Adorable girl, abandoned by her mom, takes to the apartment of a grumpy old man who eventually adopts her. Punky's Season 1 finale was a backdoor pilot that introduced us to Fenster Hall, an orphanage filled with wacky kids and one counselor who had also grown up there. The spin-off idea was that Mike, the counselor, played by Chico Carter, takes the kids in the orphanage under his wing, forming the most chaotic family you've never heard of. Well, let's break down the actual episode. The two-part finale of Punky Brewster Season 1 introduced us to TC, a young thief who steals Punky's music box, the only thing she has to remember her mom by. Heartstrings officially pulled. TC, it turns out, is an orphan living on the streets and working for an 80s version of the Artful Dodger, with the cool name Blake. Punky ends up tracking TC down and offers him a place to stay while trying to convince Henry to adopt him. But no, Henry takes TC straight to Fenster Hall so he can be under the guidance of counselor Mike Fulton and part of their family. The show had all the makings of a class 80s sitcom. Troubled kids? Check. Heartwarming mentor figure? Check. A street drug villain to teach us the power of trust and friendship? Double check. By the end, TC chooses Mike over the thug, and Fenster Hall becomes his new home. It's like the Goonies meets Different Strokes, but somehow less successful. The thing is, T.J. Carter was great, calm and funny, and the kind of actor who could elevate even the previous material. The backdoor pilot just didn't stick. Maybe it was the overcrowded orphan ensemble. Maybe audiences weren't ready for Punky Brewster the Next Generation. Or maybe, and I'm just spitballing here, people were a little tired of shows that tried to be heartwarming and wacky at the same time. And also, let's not forget that backdoor pilots live or die on their ratings. And this one, well, it barely went across the finish line. Fenster Hall went straight into the TV graveyard. But should it have gone to a series? Honestly, maybe. T.J. Carter was good enough to make it work. And in fact, he was so good that Punky Brewster kept him around as a teacher, and then because this is an 80s sitcom, he became Punky's teacher. Because who needs new characters when you can just recycle the ones you got, right? But really, the world wasn't ready for Fenster Hall, or maybe Fenster Hall wasn't ready for the world. Either way, footnote into history, a show that could have been, but thankfully wasn't.
No. 1 quarter remains.
227 is a sitcom that aired on NBC from 1985 to 1990, starring Molly Gibbs, host Jeffersons. It was set in a predominantly 227 was a studio history, a show that could have been, but really wasn't.
Here's an inside give. He'll be stopped right at midfield.
227 is a sitcom that aired on NBC from 1985 to 1990, starring Molly Gibbs, host Jefferson. It was set in a predominantly black, middle-class apartment building in Washington, D.C. The series focused on the lives, relationships, and humorous misadventures of its residents. The central character was Mary Jenkins, played by Gibbs, a
Right back to him on first down. No dice this go around. He's hit behind the line and taken down. He'll lose a yard there, and it's second and 11.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result. Negative yardage. Second and 11. Back to throw. David firing quickly here, and that's complete. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for third down.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
They'll look to throw for it on 3rd and 1. Over the middle, complete. That's Leonard. And he is going to have a Texans first down as they're able to convert by plenty there on 3rd and 1.
Couldn't just sit on it here, could they? Had to throw the ball on 3rd down. Got the big completion in the pickup. Fresh set of downs now. They've got to feel great.
And defensively, a backbreaker. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Well, at the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to huddle and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2. Now, the objective there, I mean, yes, the positive gain, that's nice, but work some clock.
Yeah, you're exactly right. But the problem for them is still in a possession. So they can't just sit on it running the ball. They'll have to find a way to throw it effectively as well.
Right.
They give him 7 yards on the play, and they do pick up the conversion on 3rd.
But I couldn't actually start getting that with my dad when I said that. That's probably one of all bias, and that is one of my favorite matches. Just, and it's a huge blessing for both companies because just like NXT is filled with such amazing talent and leadership, TNA is as well.
Absolutely. What I constantly hear about TNA is how great the locker room is, the dynamic.
The cards and
4th quarter, down to the 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. Now a handoff looking right. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with a minute 56
from 1985 to 1990, starring Molly Gibbs, host Jeffersons. It was set in a predominantly black, middle-class apartment building in Washington, D.C. The series focused on the lives, relationships, and humorous misadventures of its residents. The central character was Mary Jenkins, played by Gibbs, a sharp-tongued and opinionated housewife who served as the heart of her family and the apartment building. She lived with her supportive but occasionally exasperated husband Lester and their teenage daughter Brenda, played by Regina King, in her breakout role. Mary often observed the happenings of the building and commented on them from her front stoop. Her best friend and neighbor, the nosy and sassy Rose, was her partner in crime for gossip and heartfelt conversations. But the standout resident of 227 was the glamorous, flirtatious, and often self-centered Sandra Clark, played by Jackée Harry. Sandra's interactions with Mary often created comedic tension. The comedic chemistry between Gibbs and Harry was top-notch, and Harry's portrayal of Sandra earned her an Emmy Award. It also earned her a backdoor pilot in season 4 for her own spin-off, which was called Jackée instead of Sandra. The episode showed Sandra preparing to leave D.C. and set the stage for her new life by moving to New York City because her latest beau had offered her a job at his company. But when she gets there, she finds out what kind of business he actually does, and that ends up leaving her without a job, until she finds another at the health club where her neighbor works. Despite Jackée Harry's popularity as Sandra and all the new characters and locations introduced, the spin-off never made it to a full series. She ended up returning to DC and 227 a few episodes after the film's spin-off attempt as a special guest star, but Harry never returned to the main cast before the show wrapped its fifth and final season.
Now, if you don't want to get involved, that's show business. But when I see someone, especially somebody that I care about, getting in trouble, I'm going to get involved, real involved. Now, that's my sister. You never seen it work? You never seen me wish.
Isn't it right? touch as they come up on first down.
My Two Dads was a late 80s sitcom that asked the age-old question, what if two guys were forced to raise a kid together because neither of them knew who the dad was? Classic. Michael, played by Paul Weicker, and Joey, played by Greg Evigan, are the two old friends who find themselves co-parenting 12-year-old Nicole, played by Stacey Keenan, after her mom's untimely death. Oh, and let's not forget Judge Margaret Wilbur, who not only awarded them joint custody, but then bought their apartment building with tabs on them. So that's definitely how judges work. And let's not overlook the Golden's Bobby Diner, owned by former football player Esther Rickey, played by NFL legend Dick Butkus, because when you think sitcom, you think Dick Butkus Life Coach. I don't know why I wrote that. Okay. Anyways, enter Friend of the Family, the spin-off no one asked for. In the season 1 finale of My Two Dads, titled Friends of the Family, the function was shifted to Nicole's friend Tori Supkus, played by Giovanni Ribisi, who at the time back then credited as Bonnie Ribisi, and his jerk older brother Roy, played by Bradley Gregg. After Roy smashes the door to Ed's diner, he's forced to work there to pay off the damage. He's a heartwarming twist. Ed, the reluctant father figure, steps in to mentor not just Corey, but also Roy. And because sitcoms can't resist romantic subplots, Ed starts pursuing their single mom, Karen, played by Lauren Lewis. Yes, really the tearjerker from the Love Boat. The episode ends with Ed and Karen going on a date, while Corey and Roy look on approvingly, thinking, hey, maybe this guy isn't so bad after all. Classic wholesome sitcom energy. But here's where things go side. First, the obvious problem. Trying to spin off a new show in its season finale is a bold choice. Spinning off from a show that's already built on a somewhat shaky premise, well, that's just asking for trouble. The chemistry between Ed and the boys was fine, and their BC's Corey had potential, but Roy was, well, kind of a jerk, and Ed's transformation from rough diner owner to father figure felt rushed and inconsistent. And in the fact that My Two Dads itself only lasted a couple more seasons, it's really no surprise Friend of the Family never got off the ground. In the end, Friend of the Family was a classic case of trying to do too much with too little. Nice idea on paper, but in execution, not so much.
Indianapolis next week. Meanwhile, for the Dolphins, they'll fall to 1-1, and they'll try again next week.
Living Dolls was a short-lived spin-off of Who's the Boss that actually made it past the backdoor pilot, unlike their spin-off attempt with Mona. If you need a quick refresher on Who's the Boss, the show starred Tony Danza as Tony Maselli, a former baseball player turned live-in housekeeper for Angela Bauer, a high-powered ad exec played by Keith White. Add Angela's son, her man-crazy mother, and Tony's daughter Sam, and you've got yourself a popular 80s sitcom. It was a hit for ABC, and so naturally someone thought, hey, you know what this show needs? Teen models. Enter Living Dolls. Towards the end of season 5 of Who's the Boss, they aired a backdoor pilot where Sam Maselli, played by Alyssa Milano, covers a modeling agency for her school newspaper. While there, she meets Charlie Briscoe, a streetwise model played by Leah Remini, who apparently is a friend of Sam's from Brooklyn that we've never heard of before. We find out that Charlie's been taken in by Trish Harlan, the agency's motherly boss, played by Michael Learned. Trish sees herself in Charlie, both came from tough backgrounds, and just like that, we've got the setup for Living Dolls. Charlie is portrayed as a streetwise and rebellious teen who initially plans to leave the agency. However, Trish believes she can help Charlie grow and thrive.
This is where I talk about what I liked in my first box. If I hadn't already been using them since the beginning,